Hi FlossTube, I'm Jen. This is my first FlossTube video and I'm excited that I'm finally recording it. I knew about FlossTube at least a year ago and I just never started watching it, and then once I started watching a couple weeks ago I just couldn't stop. And I've just been binge watching and having fun getting to know all of you and seeing your beautiful projects. And I'm excited to be recording my first video and joining in on the fun. So a little bit about me. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm actually in the East Bay, so across the bay from San Francisco. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and before that I taught 8th grade English and history. And then when I had my son 5 years ago, I decided that I was going to stay home, and it's been so much fun. So for children, I have a 5-year-old son. He just turned 5 a couple weeks ago. I have a 2-year-old daughter who's right here, and I have an almost 3-month-old daughter who is sleeping, and hopefully she'll let me get through the video all in one piece. When I started staying home with my son, I got kind of bored, and I didn't really miss teaching, but there was something that was missing. And so I started crafting again, and I have always loved cross stitch. And I started doing it probably, I think my first project was when I was 17, and I made that like dimensions dolphin kit from Joann's that I have seen so many other people show in their videos. And I made that for my sister. And I think that was probably the only project I finished, and then I had a couple of little things that I started, and then I always put stuff down and I didn't finish it. And then there was a really large gap of time where I didn't do any cross stitch. And then when I stayed home with my son, that's when I started crafting again, because all of a sudden I had this time to craft, and I started creating my own patterns. And then when he was about 8 months old, I actually started my own Etsy shop with cross stitch patterns I designed. And so I still have my Etsy shop. When it started, I went by Acts of Craftiness, and now it's Delicious Threads. I changed it about a year ago. I now have my own cross stitch patterns and my own kits, and then a little over a year ago I started selling needle minders too, and so that's been a lot of fun. I feel like cross stitch has kind of taken over my life, and my husband probably thinks it's taken over our house, but it makes me happy, and so a happy mommy makes a happy life, right? So I'll put some links down below to see if you want to check out my shop. You okay, sweetie? Yeah, okay. I'll put some links down below so you can check it out, my Etsy shop. And then I sell needle minders through Facebook and through Instagram, but I'm actually switching to my own needle minder group on Facebook because Facebook is not very nice to business pages. And I am moving the last of my needle minders from my Facebook page to the group today. And tomorrow is going to be the first time I post new needle minders in my Facebook group. So if you're interested and you want to take a look and see what the new stuff is tomorrow, I'll put a link below and you can join the group. All right, enough about that. So pets. Sorry, I'm using the Know Your Needleworker tag. I know it's really old, but it's a good way to kind of cover the basics about somebody. So pets is next. We have 4 pets. We have 3 cats. And they used to all be indoors, but now one of them, she prefers to be outdoors. So we have 2 inside and 1 outside. And then we also have 1 dog. We have a big Doberman, and I'm sure there will be a day where you get to hear her nice loud bark in the middle of me trying to record a video. Right now she's taking naps, so hopefully we're safe. Hobbies besides stitching, I cross stitch, I embroider, I can sew, I quilt, I crochet, I knit. I love to cook and bake. I have a cameo, a silhouette cameo, and I like to do like paper crafting with that. I also work with vinyl with that, and I make decals, mostly for friends and family. And I also personalize Starbucks cups. If you check out my Instagram page, you'll see a bunch of the cups that I've made. I'll put a tag down below if you want to see those. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I will try pretty much anything. Some crafts or hobbies that I would like to try out are things like hand-carved stamps. I don't know why, that's always intrigued me. And I've also always wanted to learn how to do like brush calligraphy, like using a brush pen. not the like flat-tipped pens that I used to use in like junior high and thought I was doing calligraphy, but I was really just making things look kind of silly. So those are a couple things I'd like to try out to kind of add to all the other things that I do. Let's see, favorite movie. I don't think I have one. When I was younger, I always said the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I knew all of the songs, but I did prefer to start the movie when they got to the factory. I liked most of the beginning, but there were things like Cheer Up Charlie. I don't know why, but I really disliked that song. And I don't know, just the factory was so much more interesting. I'd rather just start the movie there. But if I had to pick a movie, I guess I would still pick Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from the 70s. Favorite TV show? I don't really have one. I watch way too much TV, but most of it is really crappy TV. Guilty pleasure TV. I will say that I think the best show overall that I've ever seen is Breaking Bad. That was just a very well done show. My current shows that I watch, The Americans, and I don't know, there are so many other ones. Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. So basically, if it's popular right now, I'm probably watching it. So I don't know. But yeah, my favorite probably all-time show would be Breaking Bad. Favorite book? I don't have a favorite book. I can't even really come up with one for that. I enjoy reading lots of different kinds of books. I read a lot of graphic novels. I'll read nonfiction. I'll read just plain fiction, but the thing that I really enjoy reading are cozy mysteries. There's something about them. They're fun, they're quick reads, and I really like the ones that have recipes. God, I feel so silly saying that, but they're a lot of fun. I don't know. I like to be entertained, and they're entertaining. Favorite music? I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. I would say mostly probably pop music because that's what's on the radio, that's what I'm listening to. I listen to a lot of classic rock, alternative because that's what I grew up with. Most recently, I think my husband and I have gotten into Electro swing. If you haven't checked it out, it's kind of interesting. It's like electronic swing music. If you put it on Pandora, you can come up with some really cool playlists. And if you want to check somebody out that does a really good job at it, you can look up Parov Stelar, and I'll put his info down below too, or at least his name, so you can look at it if you're interested in checking it out. But yeah, I listen to pretty much anything. I'm not too into like country or rap, but most other stuff I'll check out at least. One word that best describes me, that's a toughie. I don't know. I'm stubborn, I guess. I mean, in good ways and bad ways. Like, if I want something, I'm gonna really try for it and not give up. And then on the flip side, I will always fight for something even if I'm not right. But yeah, I guess stubborn. Stubborn's a good one. So, I don't know, that's a little bit about me. I have a couple of finishes. They're kind of old, but they're the ones that I haven't framed or given away, and so there's something I can show you that's mine. A while ago, actually in 2013 it says, I did the Frosted Pumpkin Stitcheries Woodland Sampler. This is just stitched on a kind of tea-colored Monaco cloth. So, oh, it's hard to angle this stuff so you can see it all. And you can see 2013, and still not framed. Originally I was going to put this in my son's room, so hopefully eventually I do get that framed. And I also stitched up, I have a lot of Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery stuff. The Frosted Pumpkin Stitcheries Christmas Town? I don't remember the name of this one. This one was supposed to have the calendar at the bottom, the like counting down to the 25 days. And I left it off because I didn't really like that, I guess. I bought a frame for this one, but when I put it in there, I realized that it looked really silly, or it looked funny, like there's too much fabric around the outside, so I'm going to need to figure out some sort of matting to put in there to make it look better. So those are both kind of old finishes. My most recent finish is actually my first and only so far 2016 finish, and it's this one. This is the Pastel Hot Air Balloon by Fuzzy Fox Designs on Etsy. She was the one that had this pattern up, and any sales through the end of May, the proceeds went to help the Red Cross in Canada for the wildfire victims. I painted my hoop this pretty lilac color. This is probably one of my favorite ways to finish hoops, is to paint them, because you can add a lot of character to the piece without doing much. And acrylic paints are super cheap and come in so many different colors. So it's fun to kind of do that. And I haven't actually finished the back of it yet. I kept looking at this on the wall, or like looking at it, and I changed my fabric to just a light blue Aida, and I think the example was stitched on something like a natural Aida. And my clouds just weren't really popping, and so I was considering going back and doing some back stitch to make them stick out more. They actually look like they stand out more on the video here than they do when I'm just looking at it in hand. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got to figure that out so I can finish the back. Let's see, how about some whips? So, where did I put them? Oh, here we go. Another Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, my Once Upon a Time sampler. I don't know why I stopped stitching this one. I probably had a baby or something. That tends to be what keeps me from crafting. And here we go. I got through May and then a little bit of August. And I don't know why I never picked it up again, but I probably should. Maybe this should be a Wine and Whip from Stitch Mania. I don't know, maybe. And here's one of my needle minders, cleverly disguised as an adult. This is just one of my tile minders. But yeah, I would like to finish this one at some point. The one that I have been working on this year is the Clouds Factory Zodiac Sampler. And I just started it at the beginning of January this year, and I was trying to plow through, trying to get as much done as I could before I had my daughter. She was due in March. I didn't get too far. I think I got through April before she was born, and then I started the May frames and haven't done much since then. And this is just on the regular, the fabric that it calls for in the pattern. And I know you guys like needle minder, so here is my wooden TARDIS needle minder. This one I'll probably put back on the frame and start stitching again soon. I'm really enjoying this one. I got mad though. I got really mad in my April frames. I kept miscounting, or maybe it was the March frames. I don't know, maybe it was both. But I kept miscounting and screwing up my frames, and I was getting so frustrated that I eventually just like put it away and didn't stitch on it for like a month. And eventually I pulled it back out again, and I looked, and the thing that had frustrated me ended up not even being a mistake, and I had stitched it correctly. So that made me even more upset because I was mad and put it away, and then I could have been stitching on it because I didn't actually screw it up. Oops. For Stitch Mania, I didn't really do it, and I really wanted to, but I just didn't have enough time. So I watched everybody else's progress, and I was excited for you. And then I tried to kind of do a couple of starts, but it wasn't really Mania, I don't think. One thing I did start was Over the Rainbow. So this one's from the Cross Stitch Crazy May issue. And I didn't get very far because I just did, this is supposed to kind of be like a Mania thing, so that was just my one night of stitching before I passed out on the couch. So I'll pick that up again soon. And this is just on Platinum 14 count Aida that I had in my stash. I'm going to show you something that's not cross-stitched, so don't get mad, but I want to show you so that you know that it's a whip, and you know that I need to finish it, so that maybe I'll actually finish it, because I've had this for a couple of years now. This, if anybody does embroidery, I love Wild Olive, and this is the Summer Stitching Club that I did with her. Okay, back up, sweetie pie. Back up. Okay. And I stitched all of the hexagons, and I hand stitched all the hexagons together, and then that's all. It's like not done. So I was thinking about making it into a pillow, but I didn't get around to doing that. So I've told you, it's a whip. I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna be a pillow or a wall hanging or something, but it needs to be done. Okay. for plans, I don't really know what I'm going to do next. I think I'll probably do some more work on my Zodiac sampler. Oh my gosh, I have another whip that I could not find. I also started Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Storytime sampler, and I cannot find it anywhere. I found the box that I had, like I have the plastic scrapbook paper boxes that I was keeping projects in because it's like perfect size for an 11 by 11 Q-snap, and I have all my flosses and needles and everything in there. And I found the box that has all of the floss, and my fabric is gone. I can't find it anywhere, but I did start that. If I ever find it, I'll show it to you, and maybe I'll finish it. I don't know. I, for some reason, just was not enjoying that one. And I think that's probably what killed my love of Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery patterns. And so I haven't done the new it. I'm not working on this year's Stitch Along. And that's probably why. I don't know. It's cute. Maybe after it all comes out, I'll pick it up and try it. But for right now, I think I'm a little bit burnt out on those patterns. So wish me luck, because I would like to eventually at least finish the ones that I have started. And I have a ton of their other ones that I haven't even started yet. So those are in the plans somewhere. I don't know. I think that Stitch Mania really reignited my stitchy bug, and I think that it does that for a lot of people. But my haul for the past couple weeks has been really crazy, and I need to stop. I need an intervention. So I'm going to show you a few of the things that I got recently. I got, hold on a second. You're okay, sweetie pie? Oh, no, you're okay. Okay, sorry about that. So from Jeannie's Cross Stitch shop on eBay, she also has a shop on Etsy, I got some soda stitch patterns. So I got in the Fairy Tales book. And there's going to be a stitch along in the soda stitching group page. It's a new Facebook page. If you haven't heard about it, you do that. I got Little Witches. There's also a stitch along for this one in that group coming up. I got Zoom app, Alphabet Learning, and the Petite Four Seasons. Oops, there we go. So I don't know which of those I'm going to start. I'm going to wait for the stitch alongs for the Halloween one and for the Fairy Tales book. So I might maybe start the Alphabet one because it's kind of cute and I can put it in the playroom for the kids. I don't know. I got a bunch of cross-stitch magazines, and I subscribed to a bunch of digital cross-stitch magazines, so I'm counting that as haul too. I got my first ever Mirabilias. I got the Gypsy Mermaid, and I'm going to stitch this for my sister. I let her pick out the fabric and everything. And I also got the bead pack for that, to have all of the beads. I probably should have just done it myself, but like your one, choose your stitch, but it was easy to do it that way. I also got Tree of Hope, and I'm planning to stitch this one for my mom. And I got this natural linen that the pattern calls for as well. And I realized after I got it that I don't really like natural linen because it's super stiff. So we'll see what happens.
Your phone?
Yeah, it matches my phone. Okay. And the last one I got is Mermaids of the Deep Blue. And this one I'm going to stitch for myself. And I have two girls, so I kind of thought that would be kind of cute to have two little mermaids. I don't know, I never thought I would stitch Mirabilias, but I don't know, seeing everybody else's projects really got me excited. I have a question for you. So I've never gotten Mirabilia patterns before, but I noticed that in two of them they have little cards like this for the picture on the front. And this most recent one that I got for the mermaids has like this shiny photo. I'm guessing that somebody lost the card or something happened and then they took a photo of it. The date on here though is 2005 from, it looks like, a drugstore. So what do you guys think? Is that bad? Like, did I get, I don't think it was like counterfeit, but do you think that's, I mean, it's probably bad form, right? I mean, is it bad that I got this? Because I didn't know that it was going to be like that. I'm wondering. I'm guessing that that's not normal, but maybe let me know in the comments because I want to know. Thanks. I I also got the bead pack for Tree of Hope. From 123 Stitch, I got a nice little haul. I got all 4 pieces of the Sing a Sampler series. And I was thinking about stitching these for my mother-in-law because she really loves music. Oops. And I might do a second one for our playroom because, you know, the kids might like that too. I haven't decided yet. Saw somebody posted these on the Stitch Mania group, and I know a couple other people ran out and bought them too. But they're the Jim Shore Mill Hill kits for the playing cards. So I got Ace, King, Queen, oops, and Jack. So I have all 4. And I'm excited to stitch these. My husband doesn't really care about cross stitch, and he doesn't mind like if I do it, and if I wanted to put it up, he'd be like, all right, whatever, find a good spot for it. But I don't know, I think that those projects might actually be ones that he would be interested in, or at least think are kind of cool. When we were undergrads in college, we played a lot of poker. And when we first moved in together, we furnished our first apartment with poker winnings. So we bought our first bed. Like when we first moved in together, we were sharing a twin bed. And so we were able to buy a queen. We got our vacuum, total like boring things. And we also bought our first bar. Sorry if there are any non-drinkers out there, but we kind of filled our first bar with poker winnings. I mean, it seems appropriate, right? I don't know. I think that might be it for haul. It looks like it. Yay. So the other thing, I posted a picture of this on the Stitch Mania group. Can I see that, sweetie? I'll give it back after. I went to my parents' house on Thursday, and I was telling my dad about this cool PVC pipe project that I had, and I was asking him questions about what I would need to cut it and how you measure it, because in the video, in Pam Reed's video, she talked about not knowing, or saying that she needed 3/4 inch when one of the tutorials that she saw said 1/2 inch pipe, and then discussed that, you know, people measure it differently. And so I wasn't sure which way how to make sure that I got the right one, especially because I was thinking about buying stuff online, just picking up, and that probably would have been a bad idea. So he ended up saying, come over, I'll help you. So I did get a saw and all the stuff that I need to make another one if I ever want to make another one for myself, but he helped me put this one together. So you may have already seen this on Stitch Mania. I did add an extra crossbar here, and so if you wanted to do that, I just added another 2-inch pieces here, and then I got 2 more T connectors, and then there's 1 more 12-inch bar because I made the 12 by 12 frame. And so it's really nice. It's very stable. It fits really nicely in my lap. I like to sit cross-legged when I cross-stitch, or with my legs out on the ottoman, and I feel like the bars hit my legs where I would want them to be if I'm in either of those 2 positions. And so, yeah, it's great. And I haven't tried it out yet. I'm planning to tonight, and I'll let you know in my next video how it goes. But I'm really excited about this. I'm hoping that I'll be able to stitch a lot faster if I'm doing it two-handed, because I've become a very slow stitcher recently, and I tried out Vanna's method of two-handed stitching, where you go down with a point and then come back up from the back of the fabric with the eye of the needle so you don't twist it. And I was having a really hard time when I was holding my frame in hand. And so a lot of people said to try it stitching two-handed. So I'm going to try that, and hopefully I'll become a speed demon and I'll be able to get a bunch of stuff done. I think that's it. Thanks for reaching the end of my video. I really appreciate you watching, and if you have a video that you'd like me to watch, just link your channel or the video down below and I'll definitely take a look. I've been trying to comment on some of the videos I watch, and I really love this community and I'm glad to be part of it. Silly. Don't forget, check out my Etsy shop or my needle minder group. There will be some new needle minders posted tomorrow. Have a happy, fun, stitchy day.